So good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. It gives me great pleasure and pride during Women's History Month to honor my late great aunt, Commissioner Mary Lee Graham. Mary Lee Graham performed a lot of firsts in our island city. The owner of Lee's Orient restaurant, she served as the first woman president of the Key West Chamber of Commerce in the 1950s. In 1977, she was appointed to the city commission. She was appointed by Sonny McCoy, then elected to a second term. Graham was a charter member of the Old Island Restoration Foundation and was instrumental in saving the Armory and West Martello Tower. She held dozens of leadership positions, including the president of the Garden Club. In 1956, she was recognized as the first local woman to be named Florida Woman of Distinction. She was also the first woman to serve on the Planning and Restoration Board in 1971. In 1972, she was appointed by the governor to the Key West Historic Preservation Board. In addition, she served as the Monroe County Library Board for a decade. She received the American Legion's Outstanding Citizen of Monroe County in 1956, as well as a number of other civic recognitions. Mary Lee Graham was the first woman recognized for outstanding service by the Florida Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons in 1977. This portrait that we're going to unveil momentarily was the actual portrait that hung in City Hall during her tenure as a city commissioner. Let me explain to you briefly how we came across this painting. Last year during Women's History Month, I had asked Allison Green, PIO, to do a feature on Mary Lee Graham as she was doing other notable females during History Month. And Allison asked me, did I have a picture of Mary Lee Graham? And I went looking and I found a picture that we had, but it wasn't a very good one. So I reached out to a second cousin of mine, Kim Cross. And by the way, Kim Cross wanted to be here today, but she couldn't. And she is just so proud and thrilled that this is happening. And we're going to send her a video of this unveiling here so that she could see that. But Kim asked her about the picture, and Kim said, not only do I have a picture, I have something better. I have the actual portrait of Mary Graham sitting at Mary Graham's house on Whitehead Street, who Kim now has the home, and it was sitting there in a bag. And she says, I have that. And I'm like, that's fantastic. I said, can I have it? And she says, of course you can. I said, I want to get that painting, and I want to have it restored, and I want to hang it at City Hall. And I'm going to speak to the folks over there at City Hall to see if they'd be willing to accept the painting and do it so that we could, you look around the walls here in City Hall, and they're void of history, of our history. And I think it's important that we recognize, our history. So I'm so thrilled that the city was willing to accept the painting, have it restored, and hang it so that, we could express and show in our history, to be proud of our history. So I thank you for being here. And I would like to call up Nance Frank, who would like to say a few remarks. Thank you, Nance.
There you go. So, Old Island Restoration Foundation honors Mary Lee Graham. Without early advocates like Mary Lee, a charter member of Old Island Restoration Foundation, and a steadfast voice for Key West architectural heritage, much of the island's charter, the very character that defines Key West today, might have been lost. Her commitment ensures that historic homes, cultural landmarks, and the island's unique sense of place are preserved for generations. Key West, since its inception, has stood for an island which it identifies with the great American dream, breaking glass barriers for women and people of every gender, racial, and religious boundary. During this month, when we celebrate women's history, on our nation's 250th anniversary, it's an excellent time to recognize Mary Lee Graham for her groundbreaking work to keep Key West heritage alive. I was fortunate enough to have been in the room, next to the room where Old Island Restoration Foundation was founded at the Women's Club. And I heard the big battle, and it was a big battle between what the Women's Club was doing to form the first library, public library in the state of Florida, and to preserve the city. And I'm so happy that your great aunt, Mary Lee Graham, stood with us and with the library. Thank you.
Thank you, Naz. Thank you. Anybody else like to say anything before we do the unveiling? Okay, thank you. Thank you all very much for being here. Really appreciate it.